Netflix cancels shows millions of people love, and it's not a mistake. It's a cold, calculated byproduct of a system designed to maximize efficiency over sentiment. While fans launch petitions and hashtags to save their favorite series, the executives in Los Gatos are looking at a dashboard of metrics that the public never sees. To the viewer, a show is a story. To Netflix, a show is a variable in a mathematical equation for retention. To understand why your favorite story was cut short, we have to look past the illusion of view counts and into the machinery of data-driven survival. In the traditional era of television, success was simple. If people watched a show, advertisers paid for the eyeballs, and the show stayed on the air. But Netflix has no advertisers to please. This creates a strange illusion where a show can be at the top of the trending list and still be considered a failure. Raw viewership, the number of people who click play, is a vanity metric that hides the truth. A show with 10 million viewers who only watch the first 2 episodes is worth significantly less than a show with 5 million viewers who watch until the very last second. This gap between starting and finishing is where most hits go to die. Netflix isn't interested in casual interest. They are interested in completion rate. If a high percentage of the audience doesn't finish a season within the first 28 days, the data suggests the show doesn't have the stickiness required to justify its budget. The algorithm sees a drop-off at episode 4 as a signal that the show has lost its value as a retention tool. In this system, popularity is irrelevant if it doesn't lead to completion. This leads us to the most ruthless metric in the streaming industry, the cost-per-value ratio. Every show has a price tag, and that price tag increases significantly as a series enters its 3rd or 4th season. Actors renegotiate for higher pay, production costs climb, and the complexity of the narrative grows. However, Netflix's data shows that most shows bring in the vast majority of their new subscribers in the first 2 seasons. By the time a show hits season 3, it is no longer a growth engine, it is a maintenance cost. If the cost to produce a 3rd season is higher than the projected value of the subscribers, it will retain. The show is canceled. It is a brutal calculation of churn control. Netflix would rather spend that same $80 million on 3 new season 1s that might attract 3 different niche audiences than spend it on 1 season 4 that only satisfies an existing, shrinking fan base. They are constantly trading the loyal few for the potential many. This decision-making process reveals a counterintuitive truth. In the world of streaming, cancellation can actually be smarter than success. Netflix operates on a model of constant novelty. Their goal is to ensure that every time a user opens the app, there is something brand new to discover. If they keep too many long-running shows alive, their library becomes stagnant and top-heavy. By cutting shows early, they free up the real estate on their front page for new intellectual property that can go viral and spark a fresh wave of social media conversation. This strategy also protects them from the law of diminishing returns. Most stories naturally lose steam as they progress, but a canceled show remains a perfect unfinished product in the library. It stays there as a low-cost asset that new subscribers can discover years later. For Netflix, it is often more profitable to have a library of 50 great 2-season shows than 10 averaging 10-season shows. They aren't building a legacy of endings. They are building a mountain of beginnings. This systemic approach has fundamentally changed the relationship between the creator and the platform. Writers are now forced to write for the 28-day window, structuring their plots to maximize binging rather than slow-burn character development. If the hook doesn't land early enough to keep the completion rate high, the story ends regardless of its artistic merit. The algorithm has no room for cult classics that take years to find their audience. In the streaming war, you either win immediately, or you are cleared away to make room for the next experiment. As we look at the graveyard of canceled hits, it becomes clear that Netflix is not in the business of storytelling, it is in the business of subscriber logistics. The heartbreak of a cliffhanger that will never be resolved is simply a line item in a ledger. They have moved past the era of human intuition and into an era where the data decides which dreams are worth the investment. The next time your favorite show vanishes, remember that the system didn't fail. It worked exactly as intended. The next episode button is always waiting. And in the eyes of the machine, the most important show is always the one you haven't seen yet. The story doesn't end when the writers run out of ideas. It ends when the data says the audience has run out of value.